Hi, everyone. My name is Jenna Stembridge, and today we will discuss the 21st Century Cures Act and the health industry cybersecurity practices. The 21st Century Cures Act and health industry cybersecurity practices are two pivotal policies in healthcare. The Cures Act is designed to increase access to digital patient information, while the health industry cybersecurity practices are designed to safeguard digital information. Together, these policies balance the need for access with the need for security. So let's take a closer look at these two policies. One of the most significant benefits of the Cures Act is that it allows patients free, unencumbered access to their personal health information. This means patients can easily access their health data via smartphones or websites. In response to the Cures Act, there has been a surge in the use of patient portals to help connect patients with their own health information. Additionally, the Cures Act sets clear, enforceable compliance requirements for healthcare providers. It's important to note that while the Cures Act facilitates immediate access to information as mandated by HIPAA, it doesn't increase the amount of information patients can see. It simply ensures that access to digital records is immediate and free. Here is an overview of the types of information made immediately accessible by the Cures Act. The information is useful not only to patients, but also other healthcare providers who may take over a patient's care. Access to this information ensures that all parties can make informed decisions and facilitates the continuity of care. This comprehensive list is central to the Cures Act mission to provide patients with better access to their own health information. In order to talk about the health industry cybersecurity practices, we must first discuss the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act. The Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act grants essential liability and privacy protections to organizations that share cybersecurity threats within the automated indicator sharing website. The Act heavily encourages, but does not require, threat mitigation for digital information. This Act includes the health industry cybersecurity practices, which outline the cybersecurity threats faced by healthcare organizations. The HICP also provides resources to healthcare organizations to help raise awareness of cyber threats, train staff, and initiate effective cybersecurity programs. Here are the top 5 security threats faced by healthcare organizations as outlined in the HICP. Phishing usually involves deceptive emails designed to trick recipients into providing sensitive information. Ransomware is malicious software that locks a user out of their own data, usually until a ransom is paid. There's also loss or theft, which pertains to stolen or misplaced devices like smartphones and laptops, which, if accessed, could expose private information. There's data loss, which can be either accidental or intentional. And this is a leak of private data that could cause harm to an organization. The fifth threat are attacks, which are unauthorized access to medical devices used to diagnose and treat patients. Each of these threats pose a unique challenge, but understanding the threat is the first step to mitigating risks effectively. The HICP gives suggestions based on organization size for how to best prevent data breaches caused by these security threats. When the policies are compared, it's easy to see that both are centered on the use of digital patient information. However, the policies differ in areas of enforceability and security. HICP guidelines are entirely voluntary and unenforceable. The HICP's primary focus is security. However, within the Cures Act, security is only implied. When we look at the two policies and how they work together, we're able to identify areas where more work is needed. To start, HICP compliance is voluntary. If healthcare organizations are required to allow access to information under the Cures Act, security of that information should also be required. In terms of implementation, the Cures Act applies uniformly to all healthcare entities, while HICP has a tiered guidance plan based on organization size. Unfortunately, smaller organizations might face issues with compliance due to a lack of resources. For technology, the Cures Act focuses on open access to information and data sharing. However, HICP securities look at protecting the endpoint data. This gap leaves data exposed without mandated protections. Finally, neither policy references the other, even though both concern patient data. These gaps highlight the need for better policy coordination to ensure that while we open doors for data access, we simultaneously guard them with effective security. Both policies prioritize access to patient data, but they approach the goal differently. The Cures Act significantly increases access to digital patient information, facilitating easier information sharing among healthcare providers. On the other hand, HICP's main goal is to protect patient data and secure health systems from cyber threats. A helpful way to think about this is that the Cures Act opens the door while HICP stands guard. Keep in mind that while increased access is vital for advancing healthcare, it also underscores the need for more robust security measures. In summary, we see dynamic between the Cures Act and HICP where they could work together to broaden access while maintaining security of sensitive patient information. I would like to take a minute to acknowledge that AI was used to complete portions of this presentation. ChatGPT was initially used to locate two healthcare policies to compare, as well as the journals and websites used as sources. ChatGPT also compiled the information presented in the tables to compare the two policies and identify gaps. I prompted ChatGPT to create an image to show the correlation between the Cures Act and HICP and received the image shown on the key themes slide. And then AI tools within Canva were used to select this presentation template. And once the slides were built, Magic Write, which is an AI tool within Canva, was used to create presentation notes. Both uses of AI with Canva and ChatGPT are referenced on the next slide, in addition to other sources that were utilized for this presentation. And here are my references. Again, Canva and OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, are referenced along with articles and websites that I used. And yeah, I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully, we learned a bit about the Cures Act and HICP and where we have more work to do in terms of protecting our digital health information. Thanks.